There we go. Don't know why it hadn't connected there. Although it's just showing me a blank screen, which doesn't really help. There we go. Okay, so we're now live on the YouTube as well. Okay. Yep. Double check the audio. I speed up my videos when I'm watching them back, so that's why it sounded a bit off if you heard that on stream, which I'm sure you did. Okay. Let's just double check different resolutions before I start. Okay. Sweet. Okay. Additional resolution check. Okay. Say something. Just checking on the kitten. He's fine too. And now we can actually go on. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next episode of Two Idiots Learn to Code. I am one of those idiots. I am Amax Games Davie, or Idiot Davie, depending on how you feel. I am one of the founders of amaxgames.com, or Amax Games Limited, should I say. And this is a series where I, or rather we, because there's usually two of us, try and create games. We've decided to found an ethical gaming studio, one where it's not all about treating our customers like walking wallets, and try and make ad-supported free games that don't have £100, $100 microtransactions. We're doing it in Unity, and neither of us, either myself or Amax Games John, have experience in Unity. So we thought that it'd be quite amusing to do a series on creating a mobile game in Unity and using AI. If you've been following this series up until now, you've found out that I don't actually just use AI, I use multiple AIs, because DeepSeek was better at some things, Copilot was pretty much useless, ChatGPT was doing okay until it I hit the limit and it wanted me to pay, etc., etc. Now, that's not to say we won't pay for this going forward. That's not the point. But at the moment, Amax Games is, we've got 10 subscribers on YouTube and 7 followers on Twitch, and no game at the moment. So we've got literally no income. Amax Games, John and myself are using our own equipment that we have purchased to try and put this together so that we don't go into debt and we don't have stuff hanging about that we do not require. So in other words, purchasing extra mobile phones to test things on when we've got a mobile phone, things like that. So originally the game is going to come out, or we believe first thing we should probably do is get the game out on Android because we already have developer licenses for that, and it's a $1, $25 one-off fee. And then after that, we will probably try again. English is hard. We'll probably try and set something up for iOS and those of you like myself in the sheep pen as well. So none of us have coded before. None of us have coded in Unity before. My day job is designing and supporting data centers for banks. So IT is not new to me. And I was a qualified programmer 30 years ago when I left college. Now I am less than rusty, shall we say, like more like seized up in that sense. And the languages that I learned back then are almost non-existent today. So there were VB, Visual Basic, which has now become .NET, so it's not quite that bad, and Pascal or Delphi, which are completely gone now. So using C# or C++ is completely new, which is why this is a bit of a challenge. So if you've been following along, I need to open Unity. And we'll open our brain drain project. There's a new version of Unity Hub. I should probably restart it and install it. While we wait Unity to load, we'll say yes because UAC just kicked in. That's user account control. Oh, let's try that again. Unity takes so long to load, it's unbelievable. So while that's loading, obviously, last time where we left this, we left it where we added the question ID to the front of the question. This was so that at some point people can report the question number as having a failure or something incorrect with it for some reason. There's no way to report that at the moment. It's something that we will have to add. However, we have a rounds mode where you ask 10 random questions. We have a survivor mode where you keep answering questions under a specific time limit, so of so many seconds. And you have 3 lives, so you can get 3 answers wrong, and you get your score at the end of it. And we have a hardcore survivor mode where you only get 1 life. We also have a very bad fireworks effect. I'm sure I'm going to remove in this one. So I think the next thing we should try and do is we've got a basic game. I mean, it doesn't look great at the moment, but we've got a basic game. So here's Unity finally opening. What I want to do is I want to create an intro scene that shows the company logo and then disappears and then takes us to a main menu. And then from the main menu, we can launch the game. We can maybe set some settings like volume for things like that. and maybe show some statistics on, for example, the database and that, because if you've been following along, you'll realise that I've added some extra fields here that aren't really used: total answered questions, total questions correct, etc. Your number of lives and that, and we need to clean up this user interface. It was kind of thrown together just to, kind of have something and try and get the basics in there, because the code's more important than the actual layout of everything at the moment. So now that we've got everything open, let's go back to the guru, ChatGPT, and we'll say, I'd like to create a new scene. Which features a new scene as the intro, which features a logo fading in and then fading out. We're taking us to a main menu scene. Can you help me with that? Okay, fit to the code, fair enough. So it wants us to create a scene called intro scene. Okay, so right click. File new scene, yep. 2D basic built in, although it doesn't really tell you. Create scene, and I shall rename it. Come on, let me rename it. Let me rename it. Come on. Okay, let me rename it in a save, I'm sure. Add UI image, yep. So into the scene, right click, game object, UI, and I'm going to use the image like it says. Okay, so the image is rather small at the moment, even though I'm zoomed all the way in. Okay, but that's fine. Assign our logo. Yep, so if we go back to projects and go to graphics. I've got sprites, I don't appear to have graphics. With logo, but that's fine. Let me just pull in the logo for Amax Games, if I can find it, and we'll test that out. We'll use our tombstone logo. So I'll just bring that in just now. Drop that in there. Okay, so if we select our image, drag our tombstone logo over it. There we go. We have a very small tombstone logo. So it's not told me to do this, but if I think it's shift and stretch, then I can stretch it. Okay. It's a shame that it's been cut off at the top, to be fair, because that would be a really cool place to have it. But what we'll do is we'll just move it up so it's cut off here as well. Okay. There's the Amax Games. It's not told me to do this, of course, but I'm going to put a user interface and a text message Pro in there. I'm going to zoom in. I'll change that to Control-A Presents. Okay. And we'll change the font at the moment, but let's just get the permissions. The permissions, the positions into a better place. Okay, yep, it should probably be a bit bigger. Maybe 50. No, it'll be even bigger than that. I'll do 75, maybe. That's probably it. Okay, now I could probably go bigger again to 100. Okay, yeah, I think we can do that. So let's just extend the box out. And from here, okay, let's try a different font. What do we think? Oh, okay. I thought there would be an easy way to select font, but apparently not. Apparently not. Well, for the time being, I guess that's just going to have to suck it up. So let's just move this back into Amax Games Presents. Do you know what? I'm not even going to bother with the presents. I've changed my mind. I'm going to just delete that. Okay, I'm going to have our Amax Games in here. I'm going to go to size. I'm going to try and kind of max this out a bit. No pun intended. Okay. Yeah, so let's try that for now. Okay, create a canvas if there isn't one. Oh, I didn't create a canvas, did I? Okay. Set the images alpha to 0, transparent with the color picker. Right, okay. So, oh no, I did create a canvas. What am I talking about? So, UI image. Now, logo image. Okay. So, rename this to logo image. Okay. Can we rename this yet? Okay, what we'll do is we'll do file and save as then. Let's call it intro scene. Let's copy that across. It's going to be inside our scenes. Okay, so we have our intro scene. Create a new object called new script, called splash intro.cs. This is only our 4th script, so we're doing quite well regarding trying to keep this. I'm going to say minimal. I don't mean minimal, but like as in the minimal amount of scripts jumping between each other. So right click, create C# script, Control V to paste in the name, double click it to open it. Okay, when it opens, we can copy this. Okay, so let's have a quick look through the code. So it's adding some prerequisites. It's called splash intro. It's grabbing the image, which I'll need to set afterwards. So the fade in duration is 1.5 seconds. It holds for 1 second, presumably before the fade out. Next screen is the main menu scene, which is not created yet. So it starts a coroutine to play the splash in the start, which basically means it plays the splash and then continues. Then it plays splash screen, changes the alpha layer, I think. Yeah, so it changes it from 0 to 1 to fade it in. It waits for the 1 second and then it fades it out and then it changes to the next scene. And here's actual code for doing the fade. Okay. So let's go back to our code, which is opened up to the bottom. There we go. Oh, it didn't open your code yet. Yeah, okay, so let's go back to too many windows open when you do this. Give it a moment. Let's have an idea about something. Okay. Open the splash screen, Control A, Control V, Alt FS. Interesting. Random data. Okay. So drag your logo on the canvas. Okay. So hold on. I wanted to check something else, didn't I? Alright, so I need to create a splash controller game object. See, I nearly missed that part. So right click, new, and you create empty. Right click, rename, splash controller. Okay. And I need to attach my script to it. So splash controller, it's dragged in here. There we go. Okay. At least I believe that's what I need. So there appears to be a enumerator error. So we'll check that in a moment. Drag your logo image into the canvas. Drag your logo image from the canvas onto the splash controller. I don't think that's what it was meant to happen. Let's put it back on the canvas. No, on the canvas. There we go. Just for directional again, so let's need a main menu scene. Okay, yep, I need a main menu scene anyway, so we'll check that one. Add both intro scene, main menu scene to your build settings. Okay, yeah, so I need to do that. So file, build settings, open scenes. Okay, and you want that one to move above it because the intro should be the first one. Okay, let's close that, jump across. Make sure intro screen start, press play, scene, fade in. Okay, done. You have a splash screen. Add audio play with the logo and a skip option. Click to tap. Don't care about skip options. In a couple of seconds, chain multiple logos. Yeah, publisher then game logo. Might do that to be fair, but we'll see. Okay, so we are getting a error. Just need to say okay. This gives an error. Okay, there we go. Would be nice if it actually told me that, but it didn't. Wah, wah, wah. There we go. Okay. Now if I save that, jump back to the game, that should hopefully disappear. Which it does. Okay, back over here. There we go. We now have the splash control. We have the main scene name and we now have the logo image. So this is what it was waiting on. So we'll drag the logo image in here. Okay, and hopefully when I click play, it should fade in and fade out. It's going to take me, for the time being, I won't actually switch it to, I'll create a main menu scene next, actually, don't worry about it. It'll take me the wrong scene because it doesn't exist, but hey ho, let's just click play just now. It faded in and it faded out. Awesome. Okay. That pretty much does exactly as it said on the tin, does it not? Cool. So I need the main menu scene, which is fine. Okay, save. So let's go back to ChatGPT. Okay, awesome. That worked. Let's now create the menu scene. Okay, new main menu scene. Use on interface buttons, choose the game mode. Each button knows your game score, tells you what mode to use. The clean transition from a splash screen. Okay. Seems to know what I'm after. So file, new scene, main menu scene. Or just copy the name because you know what I'm going to do. So file, new scene, basic 2D, file, save as, main menu scene, in the scenes folder, save. Okay. Create a canvas, an event system if it's not present. Okay, so right click, game object, UI canvas. Okay, event systems automatic created. Title text brain drain. Okay, right click, new UI text mesh pro. Okay, grab the text, brain drain. 3 buttons. Okay, so right click, UI, button text mesh pro, right click, UI, button text mesh pro, and right click, UI, button text mesh pro. Okay. Create a script called main menu controller. Notice it's not told me what to call these. We'll go back and go back and rename them in a minute. There's text on them. Okay, and we'll do menu manager. Okay, so we need to right click, game object, create empty, menu manager. Okay, and it wants a new script. Right click, create C# script, menu controller. Copy everything that's in here. Not opening menu controller now. There we go, Control A, Control V, FS. Okay. So, okay. So let's go back and rename the buttons. So round mode, survival mode, and hardcore mode. So okay. So I'll go back here and we'll rename the button. What will we rename the button? Rename it round button. And rename this survival button. And that means the last one will be hardcore button. Okay. So that looks like a crud. Okay, yep, so go back to main menu controller. Oh no, actually I need to unclick first, so I'll go in here. Click. Bring in our main menu controller. Okay. So that doesn't appear to have done anything. That's fine, because it's still going to be the main menu controller and unclicks the rest, so I can still fill them in. Survival button, click, main menu manager, we go. And the same for the hardcore button. Okay, right, so it should show start hardcore mode. That doesn't show start hardcore mode because my script is not associated with the main menu. So I'll put that in there. Main menu controller, game scene name, game scene. Okay, this one's going to fail, but that's fine. We need to open the original and fix that, but that's fine. So we'll do that in a moment. Right, okay. And you start coroutine, set current modus. Okay. I don't know if I'd call it a clean interactive menu, to be fair, because it's all piled up at the moment, so I'll need to fix that. But let's add to brain drain quiz like it suggested. Let's say inside start, it does. So inside brain drain quiz is start. Oh, there is no start. Okay, so there's a 9 numeric for start, so there is. Yeah. Okay, so save that. So let's go back and fix this menu because it didn't really give me much information on it. Create canvas events, it's not about the canvas, create this, use text measure. Okay, so what I probably should do if I go back here. Okay, so if I recall correctly, if I go to my canvas, I can add a component vertical layout group. Okay, so I will do middle center, so it's in the center of the screen. And let's look at the buttons. Okay, let's look at the actual button. So okay, what's the width? Do you know what? That's 190. We're going to make it 200, so 200 by 30. Okay, and we'll do the same for the rest. So I'm reading that information from from here. So change the width to 200, and the same for this one. Okay, so it should all be the same. I should probably change the font a little, bring it up. What do we think? That's looking pretty bad. 50 maybe. 75. Let's try 75, but obviously I have to expand. The button again. Make it through anyway. So 500 by 120, I think. Okay, that seems fine. So 500 by 120 with 75 text. So let's just set the text for them all. Okay, and we'll change this to, can't be 75, can it? So I've misremembered those numbers. It's fine though. Okay, it's 500. 500. Sweet. Oh, 500 is not big enough for that. Okay. Can we make 550? No, 600. Okay, so there we go, 600 to fit it all in. Okay, and what I'm going to do, rather than have brain drain text here, is I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete. And I'm going to right click, and I'm going to UI, I'm going to image, and we'll call it logo. And I will drag our logo back in there from the sprites folder. But it's not that logo, it's the brain drain logo. Okay. And that went well. So if I hold shift. Okay. And then I can move it. What do we think? Do we like it in the background like that? What if I just moved it down a bit? I like it like that. Is that how it's going to look? Because that's pretty sweet, like. Okay. What do we think? Anybody else got an opinion on this? Okay, let's leave it like that for now. So what else did ChatGPT say? So I've got round mode, survival mode, hardcore. View stats isn't there. Okay, right, so I do need to add main menu to the build. So build settings, add open scenes. Okay, and that went up there. I need to open sample scenes. I need to save all of this. Okay, I need to open scene, open sample scene, open that, and what's that about, kitten? Spike's adding his own sound effects. I don't know what's up. You alright, pal? Yeah. I think he was actually dreaming there. Our head of security sleeping on the job. So what I want to do is I want to save this as what did it want me to call it in the script? Game scene. Yeah, that'll do. That will actually do. I'm just going to do file, save as, put it in the scenes folder, I'll call it game scene. Drop a space, save it. Okay, go to file, go to build settings, add the current open scene, move that on to the end, and I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to remove that scene from there. Close that, file and save. Okay. Right, so now we need to fix this scene, but let's go back to the previous scene and test it first. Okay, so we're going to go file, I'm going to go open scene. I'm going to open our intro scene first. Okay, so I want to play the intro scene. I want to see that fade out, and then I want to see my main menu fade in. It fades in, fades out. Okay, here's my main menu. That's fine. I don't like that. Honestly, I like that just for the game name in the background. Maybe shrink it down a little bit so the brain drain doesn't quite touch the hardcore mode. Yeah, that might be something. Okay, so I can't test anything in the main menu just now, so that's fine. Just turn that off just now. Okay. So now I need to set these buttons so that when I click on them, they open the correct thing. So I need to go into my canvas, need to go onto each button. I did check the main menu, and this one needs to be start round. And this one needs to be start survival. And this one needs to be start hardcore. Okay, so in 3D now, if I click play, I think I need to slow that down. That comes in a bit too brutal. Okay, round mode doesn't do anything. Round mode, survival mode, hardcore mode. They're not doing anything. There's also this bug at the bottom as well. Fantastic. Right. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Okay, so the on-clicks aren't doing anything. Okay, so let's go back to our script to see what they should do. Okay. So have I misconfigured something then? Okay, Spike. I'm just reaching back and petting Spike at the moment. He's an old cat, and I've never really heard him kind of meow loudly in his sleep before, so just want to keep track of him. Let's go back into our scene here. Okay. So let's check then. Called main menu scene? No, we called it game scene. Actually, no, we didn't. Main menu scene does come from that. Game scene's the next one. Okay, so if we go back to that. Okay, game scene is game scene. Right, so no, this should work. Okay, there's no reason why this shouldn't work. Right, so need to do some debugging. So what we do is we put a debug.log in round, round mode clicked. Okay. Again, this isn't new code for me in the sense that I'm writing it freehand without ChatGPT. This is obviously code that I've used to debug other things when I've needed to beforehand. Okay, so change it to hardcore. Okay, and survival. Right, so with that code now changed, we'll give it a moment. Twitch really needs to do something about spam bots. Like, that's ridiculous. Okay, I can close this just now and go back to my Unity. So hopefully when I click play now, okay, I can go over to console, can click on round mode, and it's doing nothing. Survival mode, doing nothing. Hardcore mode, doing nothing. Okay then. So it's not even attempting to do them. So back to our canvas. Actually, we need to open our main menu because we're done with this one. So file and save that. File and open scene. In fact, open recent scene. And open main menu scene. Okay, so why is on click not working? So runtime online. Oh, okay. So for some reason it did not remember me setting these up. Okay, so start round mode. Okay, no function, go over here, start survival mode, and then we have over here, we have start hardcore mode. Okay, right, let's save them again, and let's try again. Okay, round mode, there we go. Yep, sound's still there. Seems we're working fine. Perfect round. There's my fireworks. And there's people clapping. Okay, awesome. Should probably add a main menu button here, eh? So again, that'll be the next thing to look at. So round mode works. Let's test survival mode. Okay, let's just scroll on up to lose a life. Come on. That one needs changed. There we go. Oh, okay. For some reason it still showed me my particle effects even though I failed. I'll use particle effects anyway, so I think we need to remove them. One moment while I check on the kitten. You okay, Bobby? Kitten seems fine. He's just lying in a very, very awkward looking position. That cannot be comfortable, Spike. Okay. So survival works. Let's try hardcore, just to be on the safe side. There's no reason why it shouldn't work. There it is. Mrs. Brown. We will be going with a different colour for the fireworks. In fact, we'll be going with different fireworks. That was my poor attempt at doing it myself the other night, and it did not go quite as planned. Let's put it that way. So let's try it. Hardcore mode. Yeah, okay. So interestingly, it did not show the fireworks there, but I only got 4. I wonder if I got over 10, would it show the fireworks? Is my logic broken on that? Let me try that one again. And, try hardcore mode, see if I can go over 10, see if that's why the fireworks come up, because if so, my logic is flawed. Okay, and now I shall suicide. Oh, okay. And I have no idea why the fireworks showed on survival mode. Right. So basic game. Cebral, what do you think of having the logo in behind the icons for the main menu? Do you think that's a good idea? Do you like it? Or should I just have the logo up top, like I do when you're actually playing the game? She'll see if she's paying attention in response to us. I'm sure she will. Okay. I want to make these much prettier as well, but again, that's not the highest priority at the moment. Funnily enough, rather than looking at just fireworks, I was looking at confetti, and I thought that confetti might be good for, say, your first, if you get 10, but maybe fireworks if you got like 10 times 10. So maybe if you answered 100 questions, you got the fireworks, whereas it was normally confetti. Since you've brought it up, we might as well have a peek. So let's look up here, go over, and we'll look at the asset store. So Unity. Okay. And let's try confetti. Are there any free confettis? Why is it giving it in euros? We use proper money here in the UK. We don't use that funny foreign money. Okay, price. Is there any that are free? Okay, there's a couple, I think. Well, none of them really say confetti. Okay, I think I'll maybe switch the logo at the top and we'll try that and we'll find out. Okay, I mean, is that really confetti? One in the middle there? What do we think? Can't hurt to import them, I suppose, and try it. It's giving us the real money. No, my dear. Euro's not real money. Never has been. Never will be. Although I'm just waiting for the government here in the UK to go, you know what, just use the euro, everybody else does. And sell us out in the same way that they've sold us out every other way. Okay, do you know what? I'm going to import this and see what it's like. So I'm just going to go to add to my assets. Add to my assets. Accept. Open in Unity. And download. Got it. Download. Yeah, what I'll do is once I've downloaded these confetti and fireworks, I'll swap the logo about and we can have a look and see what looks better. So that's awesome, and we'll do fireworks as well. Um, for those following along and kind of new to this tutorial series, we're trying to build these games as cheap as possible, with as little outlay as possible. But with that said, ooh, I like the look of that one. With that said, we are also going to be looking at companies or people whose assets that we actually use and seeing if we can actually donate some money to them if they're actually used in the game. The idea is that if we're making money from the game, we're going to support people who are using the things that we're actually looking at, or if we're using their assets, we're also helping pay for them. Leaving the picture in the center. Okay, interesting thought. Do you know what? I think I'm going to do simple fireworks just now. Something like that. So I'm just going to add to my assets, accept. I'm going to go open in Unity again. I'm going to download. Confetti like this. Okay, that's them installed. I just need to work out how to use them now. I've never really done this with these effects before, so here we go. Right, so let's go back here. We'll worry about the confetti part in a moment, and the fireworks in a moment. So let's just save this. Oh, we're not, we're in run mode. Let's get out of run mode. Ooh, maybe confetti coming from each side. That could be interesting. That's a thought, I see, bro. So it's still in play mode. Get out of play mode. Okay, let's save this. So I have no idea why the logos were come in the way it has anyway. So we'll change that. Where the logo is now would place the survival mode and round mode. Okay, so to move the logo up at the top, I should just be able to drag this up here. And I have no idea where that disappeared to. Yay. Oh, actually, it removed the sprite. Okay, that's fair enough, right? So I can go back into my sprite. Are you okay, Spike? Are you okay, pal? You're very talkative. After your little screech, I'm a wee bit worried about you. Eh? Our head of security is getting a bit antsy. So let's just drag the logo in here. There we go. Yep, I think that's a bit small. So let's expand that a bit. So I'm holding shift while grabbing the corners so it uses the correct. Not too big. And then we've got the round modes below. Do you think that's a bit cleaner? Anna's here, I might as well abuse her and ask all the questions I can, because at least I'm getting some feedback and it's not just me arguing with myself. Of course, I may have to move up a little bit, and the main reason I might need to move up a little bit is for people in the sheep pen, because of notches and islands and all of that stuff, so I'll need to find a safe area for that. But yeah, okay, it looks good for main menu. I've got to admit, I quite like that. We could probably improve these buttons though, couldn't we? We could probably make them look a bit better. So shall we ask our guru? Let's close some of these windows. Okay. Right. So I've cleaned the text menu. Had a hover sound on animations, actually. So let's look at our buttons. Okay. And we make our buttons look better. What would you suggest? That's exactly what I just said, yep. Okay, so I'm using Text Mesh Pro. Replace the default text, okay. Add a button background. Use a rounded button sprite. You can download free UI packs from UI sprite. Set up an image button. Enable 9 slicing. What the heck is 9 slicing? Sprite import settings so it scales nicely. If you don't have a sprite, I can recommend some for you. Use the buttons to color selection. Add a hover animation using scale. Okay, so hover animation. I like the idea of that. I was thinking rounded corners, Anna. Like rounding the corners off to make them a bit more modern looking. We could do the whole iOS, was it liquid glass thing, and make it seem like it's Windows from like 2005. Because, Apple's always 20 years behind the curve. So let's suggest some button sprite assets. Don't know about them. Okay, let's try again. Okay, they don't exist. Is it hallucinating? And those don't exist. Well, those are on Patreon, so presume these are paid for now. Lots of assets, don't get me wrong, but I have no idea which one I might be looking for now. So that's a no. Okay, so let's go back to ChatGPT. Okay, so it does suggest that Kenny's pack, we'll download Kenny's pack. It's not the world's biggest issue if we don't end up using them. Download. Continue without a need for now. Good. Perfect finish. Go back to our brain drain. Go into our assets. I'll just create a folder called Kenny's Pack. Oh, won't let me create a folder there. Interesting. Okay. So in that case, I just have to bring them in as I see fit. So let's go to my download folder for Kenny's to finish. Okay. Open the pack up. Font, PNG, sounds, and vector. PNG maybe? What colour would go? I think we've got blue, green, grey, red, and yellow. Let's look at the grey ones. Man, this is a lot of buttons in this pack. And it's not giving me a preview of them. Awesome. Okay. So, why is it not letting me preview a PNG? That's not good. Let's go back. Vector ones let me preview them. I doubt it, to be fair. No, they don't either. Awesome. Right, so this could take some time. So let's just unzip these and see if there's an alternative way for me to do this. So we'll just call it Kenny's UI pack. Oh, hey, I've got previews now. Right. Let's just haul this into my screen so people can see. Go full screen. Rectangle with rounded corners. Click on it. Let's try that one, shall we? Or let's look at maybe one of the other colours. So let's go blue maybe. So I'm going to blue, going to default. Ooh, okay. Let's try this. Right, so I will drag this in. Hi, kitten. You okay? No? Okay. Our chief of security has joined me and decided to climb on my lap and ensure that I'm doing my job to the best of my abilities. Okay. So now if I go back here and select button, I'm sure there's a sprite option here. Let's save everything before I completely break this. If I grab, oops, no, I need to go back here. If I grab this, can I drop it straight on here? Can. I like that. Don't know if the text needs to change colour now though. Let's do the rest. Is there a way to round off the edges of the buttons somewhere? I don't see anywhere. Okay, so let's go back to ChatGPT and ask. Okay, I'm using TM Pro buttons with the sprite added. Can I round off the edges of the buttons a little? Okay, a rounded button. Okay, sprites. Okay. Okay. Select the sprite in the project window. Select the sprite in the project window. Interesting. Okay. Mesh type full React. It's got extra edges in it. Sprite mode single, wrap mode clamp. Okay. Click sprite editor. Where the heck is the sprite editor? There we go. Okay. In sprite editor, drag the green lines to set 9 slice borders, usually about 10 pixels each. Okay. Don't really see what that's achieved. Yeah, I don't think that's achieved anything. Okay, I'm not too worried about that at the moment then. That's obviously not. That requires more attention. So let's try and change the text here. So I've got a kind of aqua colour, so maybe the text should simply be white. Is that not too obvious? Yeah, where's text colour in here? Text colour. White. That's fine. Yeah, I think white looks better. Okay. There we go, we have a working main menu. So should we link statistics in here and maybe have a settings option? For settings, we'll just have a panel, I think, that pops up. I think that might be an idea. Okay. So I don't want these in the canvas, so I'll do them just here. Do a right click, do game object, 2D object. Actually, no. Let's see what ChatGPT said. Oh, actually, no. We didn't do some code here, did we? Also, if I'm just going to hover animation. Add a script to each button for quick and clean feedback. Okay. So let's try that. Let's go back to scripts. Create script. We'll call it hover script. Or in fact, I'll just call it hover, button hover. We'll look up button hover. Okay, save. And I suppose there wouldn't really be a hover on a mobile though. So I don't know if how relevant this is going to be actually. This might just be pointless to be honest. But if we go to each of the buttons, I should be able to assign hover scripts to a button hover rather. We'll just try that, see if that makes a difference. If not, then we're not really any further forward, but we're not any further back either. Okay, and if I hover over them. Ooh, actually I like the way that pops. That's good. Yeah, that was a good addition. I like that. Even if it doesn't work in mobile, I do like that. Just as a little Easter eggy type thing. Okay, so we're probably going to need some main music for this at some point. I should probably throw that in a GarageBand. Try and come up with something. Pour myself some juice. Talking constantly is interesting. Okay, so I've got that right. So we'll probably have we'll ask for a statistics panel to be added. So we'll go back to our chat GPT. Don't need that. Shut that. Don't need that. Sample prefab style. That would have been decent actually. Okay, appended free buttons. Hey, stop scratching the monitor, kitten. Despite not liking seeing the mouse hover over my monitor, so I decided to attack it. So, okay, let's add a small icon that opens up a statistics panel. interesting it's automatically picked up some things to actually add. Ooh, a stats panel that slides in or fades in. A close button hide panel. A background overlay for the focus. Okay. Inside your main menu. Scene. Yeah. Before I do that, I'm going to go back here and I'm going to go to reversion control. And I'll just put added main menu and intro. And I will check these in. We'll save it. Okay. So create a stats icon, add UI button mesh, use a small size 50 by 50. Replace the background simple icon such as I for information. Yeah. Place it in the corner, top right or bottom if it's common, name it stats button. So yeah, the stats button is definitely going to be a thing, right? So, and this is where I'm going to actually sneak some monetization in, because if you're looking at stats, I'm going to display a banner ad at the bottom at some point. And I know that's going to annoy people, but it's in the stats, like it's not going to interfere with the gameplay at all. So I'll right click, new user interface, image, is that image? Oh, no, actually the button, so Control Z on that. Right click, user interface, button, text mesh pro. Okay, and we want to call it stats button. Okay, interesting where it's sitting. So we want to align it to place it in the top left, I think. There we go. So we want to give this an icon. Let's go back to our icon pack that I was looking at a moment ago. And listen. I'm actually surprised there isn't just a little question mark one there. So star would be good for the high score table. I'm just going to go with a little circle. Yeah. What do we think? We go with a little circle? So go back to our sprites. Pull in our little circle. Okay, click on our button. Where did the button go? Stats button, there we go. Oh, it's linked to the main camera, that's interesting. It wasn't meant to be linked to the main camera, it was meant to be linked to the main scene, but hey ho. We'll fix that in a minute. Okay, drag that over here. Okay, that looks like crap, but that's fine. Let's change the text first of all. Let's change that to stats. Okay. And then go back to our stats button. That's not what I meant to do. There we go. So something like that, but that's obviously too small. I don't need it to be huge, so it doesn't have to be like the, what were these, 75, so maybe 50? No, I couldn't find an oval shape in the ones that I downloaded. There's circles, squares, sliders, and stars. You still don't like the buttons? We can always download another button pack at another point. At the moment, I'm just trying to get all of the things loaded that we actually kind of could do with. Okay, so let's just move that just now. And let's fix this stats button now we've expanded it. Okay, and then we can grab our button. Oh, don't know why. It's interesting. I actually thought that would have stayed within the confines of his button, but apparently not. Okay. So we've got a stats button. So what did it say to do next? Okay, yeah, I don't want it to be, hey Spike, I want it to be part of the main set. No, there we go, I don't need a canvas under the camera. Oh, actually that disappeared there. Interesting. Okay, so maybe it needed to be on a canvas. So let's move the canvas out then. Move it back onto the canvas. Okay, so it needs a canvas to show. That's fair enough. Right, so I've got a stats button. It's want us to bring up a panel next, isn't it? Stats panel, so UI panel. Yeah. Okay, it's canvas, right click, UI panel. Yeah, panel can go over the top. I'm okay with that. Call it stats panel. Set it to inactive by default. That's true. Boom. Okay. Add a background image or color with some transparency. We're going to do that just now. Inside it, add several TM pros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 6 because I want one for tracking the database. So right click, UI, Text Mesh Pro. Okay. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Close button, yep, so there should be a close button on the panel, so right click, UI, and close that. Okay. Stats panel controller. See, we're getting a lot more scripts now that we're trying to do different things. So go back here, go back to our scripts. Create C# script, stats panel controller. Okay, copy the text. Okay, I want to add one more though. Need another one here. Or question stats or total questions. Text. Okay. I'll put it on the end. Don't know if I should show the database version in here as well, actually, when I think about it. Total questions. Okay, my game's completed. Okay, so it's not set here. That's fine. Okay, so now I need to do that. Need a semicolon over here. And I need to change it to total questions. Okay, I can copy that, paste that in here, and hopefully that should do for now. Okay, so, and I need it to be in the game object called Stat Manager. Do we have a Stat Manager game object? We do not have a Stat Manager game object. So we need a game object called Stat Manager. Right click, new, create empty. Okay, Stat Manager, add the stats panel to it. Okay, there we go. So TM Pro, oops, Stats Manager. So total answered, total correct. So we get total answered. Text. Total correct. Text. Accuracy, high score text. Games completed text. And medical questions text. Okay, so now with all of them set, I should be able to go back to Stats Manager. Hey Spike, you come up to say hello. Come on up. Up. No, you've got steak in your bowl, kitten. Go eat your steak. Or come up in my lap, one of the two. Just stop being noisy, I'm streaming. Yes. Right, so Spiky. We have the stats panel. There we go. We have total answered. And I'm just clicking these and dragging them across to the relevant parts of the script. Okay. So the thing about the stats panel is, though, even if I show it, it's not actually showing as anything at the moment, right? Because I need to, for example, I need to show it first of all. Come on, right? I need to get rid of the text it's on, any of it. So I'll remove all the texts. And this one should just say close. Okay, let's zoom back out. So what I need to do then is I either need to manually arrange these, or I need to do it in a vertical panel and let it do it automatically. What do we think? So I'll just add a vertical layout group and align it to the middle and center. Where did it go? Okay, so I can see the close button, but I can't see anything else. Mind you, there wouldn't really be anything else to show me, would there? Padding can be 20, 50 maybe. Right, yeah, padding should be 50, but what I want to do is I want to select my panel, and I want to bring it up a bit, and I want to bring it in a bit on each side, because I don't want it cut off by islands and whatnot. So that button obviously looks like crap as well now. So let's bring in our button sprite. No, I didn't want you to open it. I just wanted you to. Oh, good. I just wanted it to be set. And go. Oh, Jesus, that does not look great. And it's in the background like that. For the time being, I'm not going to change that. It's going to look like crap, but it's fine. We can fix that. We can fix that further down the line. Okay. So we have our buttons, and I'll just need to go through these actually because that's why it's not showing. So total are answered. Total correct. Accuracy high. games. And questions. Right, so I suppose there's room to add more to these. Don't know what it's going to look like though. Right, for the time being, let's go back to what it's asking us to do. So script controller stripped. Set panel, set active. Okay, I've edited that. Line on team paste and the stats. Okay, done that. Button clicks. Okay, on click show stats and on click hide stats. Right. Okay. Yeah. So just go back to the stats button and here, and I can't remember where's on click will be show. Is it going to be stats manager? On click. Yep. Show stats. And then button here. I'm going to be on click. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I've assigned one to show stats. Okay. So there should be a hide stats. So I didn't see it there. Oh, there we go, hide stats. Right. Okay, so now if I go back to the stats panel and disable that, now if I run this, we need a better icon for that, definitely. It looks like crap. Definitely need a better icon for stats, but if I click on stats, nothing happens. Interesting. Okay. Everything else looks fine. Okay, so why didn't on click for stats work? So stats button, stats control panel dot show. Okay. Back to stats control panel. Stats panel is there. So if I go back to stats control panel, okay, there's nothing major in there. So let's just drop a debug in here. And so show stats. Side hide stats. And for this one will be inside load stats. Okay. So let's try that again. Save that, drop back into the game, wait for it to load. Okay, play. So the on-click event does not appear to be working at all for that for some reason. Not sure why. Let's try something else. So it's not even output into the console, so it's not trying to do the on-click for that. So zoom out. I'm wondering if because the stats panel's covering it, it's not getting a click. So let's drop that down. Because at runtime, let's set panel controller.show. Stat panel controller.show. Okay, so yeah, I mean that looks fine. So let's try that again. Oh God, it's still running, so I need to change that, make that change again. I love Unity and my dodgy mouse. Okay, so let's try that again. So click on the panel, bring the panel down under this. Try again. See if it's just that the panel sit over the top of it, and that's why it's not letting me click. No. Nothing. Interesting. So we have a stats button that doesn't do stats. Okay. So name looks fine. There's no reason that wouldn't have been shown. One object looks fine. Let's delete the on-click event and re-add it. So start manager, function, here, show stats. Okay, so on-click event is to show stats. That should be fine. It is enabled. Okay, try again. Okay, our game's now running. There's no real error that I can see. Okay, you can see these pop up when I hover over them. So they're fine. Just seems to be our stats button. Actually, I'll tell you what, there's a nice easy way to do it. Let's close that off. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add the hover script to that button as well to see if it pops the same way the other ones do, because that will show that it's actually clickable. Because I mean, there's nothing configurable in the stats button other than the on-click method. So let's go back to the scripts. Button hover and just drag over. Cool. So let's play that again. Oh, it was running again, wasn't it? It was. Bring button hover over, drop it on there. Okay, play. Well, that's interesting. So clicking the center of the button doesn't work. Clicking the top does. Okay. Survival mode and hardcore mode. They need. Okay, so The the stats panel needs to be in the front, so to drop it all the way down here, is that how that works? So that the buttons don't actually recognise the stat panel is running. Oh, you idiot, you done it again during runtime. Stop changing things during runtime. Yeah, there's something wrong with the button there. Click that. No, okay, so the survival mode and they should disappear. I think oh, it comes on. In fact, no, I didn't move it, so that's fine. Wait, it comes back. Let's do that. Okay, let's move the stats panel. Move it in front of everything else. Let's try that again. Okay, that worked in the sense that it did enable it, but it didn't show it. Yeah, okay. So here's the problem. I mean, an alternative is I could disable the canvas for the buttons. That would work. That doesn't work. Okay. Okay. I don't think I need to go check on the kitten because he's been annoying. Probably means that he's wanting more food. Right. So if I move this here, this works, but it's behind everything else. So does that mean I have to disable those buttons? Oh, okay. So I don't know what I've changed, but that's not working at all now. Awesome. Okay, let me go check on the kitten. Back in a moment. How meow meow you kitten. How meow meow you. Okay, I'm back. So, how do I try and fix this? So obviously I need to bring it to the front anyway. Ah, even when enabled it's not showing up. Okay. Can I fix this button? See if that fixes that problem where I having to click on the top corner. And then we can try and fix the panel. Try again. Okay, something's definitely not right with that button. But I don't quite know why it's not showing up. It's not on our canvas anymore. There we go. I wonder why it wasn't showing up. So now if I move this canvas down here, hopefully that should mean these buttons stay behind. Okay, and those buttons still stay in front. Okay, so can I... I can't change the Z-axis. I can change the sorter to 1, which bring it to the layer at the front. Let's try that. If not, we can put it back to 0. Oh, I'm at runtime again. Okay, right, so I need to disable that one anyway. I know what the sort layer about 1, so it should be in front. Okay, since I can't change the Z-axis, yeah. Is that only because it's disabled? No, it's because it's sorted, I think. Okay, so let's try and click play here. My stats button has disappeared. Awesome. Come on, just play. It's trolling me now. That's because the stats button's been moved. Ah, okay. Right, so the stats button needs its own canvas to show. So UI canvas. Move the stats button into it. No, move it underneath. Move the stats button into the canvas. Click on the canvas. Why is my button not shown? Ah. Such a simple thing, and yet it's causing so much problems. Okay. There's the stats button. Move. Okay. Why is the stats button shown down there? Actually, why is there no stats button shown there? I think I need to go out and come back in here and find out what's up, because that's... Let's try that. Because that definitely seems to have disappeared. And even the canvas isn't being selected anymore, so I don't know what's went up, but something's went up, so... I'm in play mode, okay, that's not going to help. Right, so, that'll be why. So the stats button's hidden, because it's down here. Don't know why it's down there, to be fair. Right, it should probably be up here. Right. Should be anchored to the top left. So canvas. Hey, Spike. We know what that's doing. Something's not right, because that button just appears to have disappeared. Let's move it back here. Main menu, right click, prefab, no, game object, UI, canvas. Yeah. Okay. It's a pretty big canvas. It's not like to change it. Okay, delete canvas. So that won't show because there is no canvas. Is that why I couldn't enter that either? Right click UI, canvas, drag stats button into canvas. Okay. Canvas still doesn't show. Um, Yeah, this is again. This is where no, this is definitely not going in the right direction, Anna. Um, this is where my lack of knowledge in Unity is a problem. And ChatGPT just usually takes you into a loop when you start asking these questions. So Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Let's just keep Control Z in it until we see our canvas at work, shall we? Right, so that was the last time it was working. So save it there. The canvas should be disabled by default. Okay, when I disable that, it's disabling the stats button, right? Because the stats button is part of it. So stats button can go above the canvas, but not part of the stats panel because it's a panel I'm enabling. The panel can be on a different Z axis. Spiky, stop it. So if the panel is available and it's on Z axis 1, then it would be in front of everything else. But since the panel is not usually available, it should be behind. So everything else should be behind it until it's enabled. So let's try that. Okay. This is why it's useful when the second dates you, because we can bounce ideas off each other. Poor Anna's my muse at the moment. Okay, so click on stats. Stats pops up. It's not in front of them now. Okay. Right. I want to change that panel's width as well. Use that. Okay, right. So I mean, it's loading the statistics. So as far as it's doing what it's supposed to do. We just don't have a correct close button, and it's not fixing its positioning. So this canvas is in 0. This one's 1. So there's no reason why it shouldn't be. Okay. So change that back to 0. And this is where I know exactly, well, I know roughly what the problem is. So okay, I round survival and hardcore buttons can be clicked when the stats panel is open. This could lead to accidentally clicking them. Let's see what it says. And it's just asking me to put this in stats panel. So let's look at stats panel. And then it says inspect, add the 3 buttons to inspector. So let's go back in here. Stats panel script that wanted me to add these to. Wasn't that? Yeah. Okay. 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 It's not a button, is it? It's a TMP underscore button, isn't it? All right. No. Okay. See, that's what I tried to do, place it above everything else in the hierarchy. We might actually do both of these. One line shows an error. Yeah, because it's not using UniEngine.ai. There we go. Okay, save that. Go back over here. Wait to load. Really don't like that stats button. I might actually just change it to a square one, like this. Just make it smaller. That might be a better option. Okay, so go to stats controller, and then we've got the round button. Spiky, survival button, and the hardcore button. Okay, let's try that again. The button should hopefully be disabled now. Nope. Well, I mean, they're disabled, but still, oh, the animation needs disabled as well. Okay. But the stats are sort of working. I think I probably need maybe need a solid color or a background on them. So it's disabling the buttons. But the animation still shows. So we'll also try option 2. Make sure the stats panel is at the bottom of your canvas hierarchy. Oh, we're still running. Go. Fuck is that about? Right, okay. Inside stats panel, do UI image. UI image. I don't think this is going to work. Set it to transparent black. So color should be black, transparency should be there. Okay, stretch it for full screen. Would if you could see the heck it was up there. So okay. Okay. Ensure recast target is checked, which is okay. I love how it gives you multiple options, and there's all different ways of doing it. Be nice if it gave you one, and then if that didn't work, you tried another one. Giving you the three at the moment is too much choice. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, try playing here. Oh, that didn't work at all. The stats button can be ticked, but I think it did enable it. I just don't think that it worked, at least not the way I was intending it to. So everything's disabled here. So it did enable it, but it didn't bring up the actual panel. You can't see the panel. So that didn't work. So adding the canvas and image did not work. Let's just delete that. Try that again, make sure that it's now working. If not, Control Z that and we move it back to the top of the hierarchy. Okay, so that didn't work at all. So that's not the problem. What if we move it to the very tippy top? So it should be on top of everything else. So it's enabling it, but we can't see it. It's going to be a canvas thing again, isn't it? Can't see the stats panel because there's no canvas on it. Bet you if I move this under the canvas. Actually, let's just zoom out so you can see where it is. And if I enable it here, yeah, can't see anything. Okay, can't see anything because there is no canvas. So, click UI, canvas. Yeah, just call it canvas. Move the panel under the canvas. Oh, under the canvas. No, under the canvas. Move the canvas to the bottom. Now, if I untick, that did nothing. Well, actually, because it's not the canvas I want to untick, it's the stats panel, isn't it? Right, okay, that's looking healthier. That's also looking like they're behind now. Try again. This is getting annoying with this mouse. Most mice stop clicking when they're dying. This one decides to click more. Okay, there's the stats. No, you can still get to them. Ah. Oh, of course, the image has disappeared from this one. The transparent image thing we were trying. Right click. So what we're going to do is right click UI image. Okay. Then we want this to stretch the image to cover basically the whole screen. And you want us to make the image black transparent. Okay. Let's try that. Interestingly, it's changed the order of these. But the button still moves, so it's still detecting me over them. So can't change the canvas Z position, can change this, didn't need that. Can change it Z position, let's try this again, let's try changing this to 1. Which should make the stats panel in front of anything else. That's at least how my understanding is it should work, but again, I'm completely new to this, so I could be completely wrong. No. I mean, the buttons are disabled, I can't click on them, so it's not the end of the world. Just delete the image, I don't really think that's helping. Oh, shit. I did that again while it was in running mode. Okay, still in running mode. Okay, delete the image because that's not helping. So, did it work? Let's just double check those buttons actually work. Now they've added the stats just in case I've screwed them up as well. So the buttons actually just don't work at all, maybe. Okay, no, they work. Okay, cool. Right. So the buttons work when we're doing that. Back here. Combine option 1 and option 2, which is what I tried to do. Didn't work. Add a canvas group to your main menu root and show stats. Main.canvas group.interact equals false. Yeah, I'll deal with that there. Okay. I think for the time being, that's probably as good as done. Let's just look at the stats and see if there's anything I need to clean up in it. Right, I need to rename. And then I think it's probably end of this stream. Okay, so total questions needs to change to total questions in database. I think I need to find a better way to space these out as well. Maybe even doing it manually rather than letting it automatically settle. That might be a better option. I'll change this to back to 0 since changing it to the z-axis didn't do anything. Okay. So go back to stats panel. Okay, so total questions in database. Okay, so better way to lay these out. Okay, so Okay, I'll just fudge this a little bit just to see all the statistics, and then I'll see where I go next. See, the logo still stays in front at that point as well, so that's not even useful to me. Can I change the back panel? Can I change the color to be black? And can I change it to be more solid? Can I change it to be solid? Wow, what the heck is that off the side? Because of canvas? No, canvas is bigger than that. That's panel. Okay, let's try and disable it again. And we shall see if the black panel makes a difference. It looks much better in black, but I wish I could get it in front of all of this. I don't think this helps. I think it's a little bit about. I think it's the ones at the bottom that render first. But we shall see. Yeah, it's not helping at all. I like the idea of having multiple stats, but I don't see. I could disable that canvas. That would work. Okay. I want to disable the canvas, or to hide canvas. The buttons are on, so they don't show. They don't show. See what it says. What? Main menu canvas. Try that. So inside that controller. Okay, so if I save this now, back over here. Go my stats manager. Okay, we've now got main menu panel, which is actually a main menu canvas. Right, if I do this, okay. So open stats panel. And stats panel did not open. Cause I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot, I'm an idiot, I'm an idiot. I added the wrong canvas. So go back to stats manager, it says canvas, it should be that. Not main menu canvas. That should just be, you know what, for the sake of it, I'll rename it stats canvas. Shh. Okay, and go stats and this canvas, stats canvas, just canvas. Cool. So now if I hit play, hopefully this works. Stats. There's my stats. Pause button. It's open. There we go. Boom. I need to work on that close button, to be fair. Can I do a, let's try a UI panel, close. Close panel. Move these into close panel. Let's just disable this canvas for now. So hopefully, because this is now on the panel, can resize it better. Okay, change that to, where's the size? Font size not shown, it's the button. Font size is in here. 50. Okay. Move the close stats into the close panel. And have the close panel under the stats panel. That work? Or actually, no, what I can do, I'm alright, I can do this. I don't know why the heck it needs to be that big, to be fair. Select the button. Can be center. There we go. Go back to my panel. Drop panel way down. Okay. So, Davie, you just done all of that while you were in play mode. Okay. So, never mind. Under stats caravan using new UI and panel. We'll rename this close panel. Move the close status into close panel. Move the close panel up to the top of this canvas. Shrink this down. We'll do that just now. Let's hide this canvas. Okay, let's zoom in. We shall select our close stats button. Shall make the text 50. Okay. Shall make the button, oops. That's not the button larger, Davie, it's just the text around it made larger. There we go. Make the button larger. Okay, go back to our panel. Slowly drop that down again. About there. Okay, what I can now do is I can now go to sprites. I can bring this in. No, that's the text again. Oh, actually, no, that was a panel, not the button, but here we go. It's in a bit on each side. Close button in the middle. Drag the button sprite over it. Go back to scripts. Drag the hover script over it. Does that show all the time? Ah, shit, I forgot to re-enable the other canvas. I'm only trying to write a 2D game here as well. Imagine how difficult this is in 3D games, or online games, or VR online 3D games. This is shocking. Right, okay. So I can have it under the close panel. So got here. Here. So what script controls the stats panel? Is it this one? So stat panel.active. So where does stat panel get set? Okay. So just make this easy. Close panel. We shall add close panel to it. Close panel. There it's there. Okay. That also means that I should go disable these here. Click play. Stats. Stats come up. Close button appears. Click close. Oh, yes! Right. Okay, so we now have close panel. Sweet. The close panel could also actually be used for dropping the advert in as well. So it could. Let's say, yeah, okay. I want to change that stats button before I go. Yeah, it looks like crap. So I'm just going to change it to one of the square ones. So stats Just try it on, make it square, and then I can shrink it down a bit. There we go. And I suppose I would make the text white to match everything else. Okay, cool. And that also means that with that canvas, I can literally add something to the other side. So, for example, the version number of the database is probably a good thing to put in there. So, file, save. Right. Well, at 3 hours, I think that's probably time for me to give up for tonight, especially considering it's like 20 past 1 in the morning here in Scotland. So I didn't make as much progress as I thought we would today. However, we now have a intro, we now have a main menu, we now have a statistics page, and we did a lot of learning and breaking things. One of the suggestions I might actually have, we might try it once the other idea is free, is we might try and pick a game and try and speedrun it and see if we can actually get a game all the way through in one day. But that's, I mean, our skills are nowhere near good enough for this. Something to be thought about is if I switch this to simulator at the moment. You can see it looks like crud on the iPad, although it did, funnily enough, it did rescale there. iPad Pro, Pixel 4. To be fair, most of these actually don't look as bad as they could. Yeah, so the thing I want to do is show the safe areas though, because the safe areas are the part that's going to probably trip us up at a later date. Although I'm doing pretty well with just kind of getting this at the moment. I think we're reasonably safe. Yeah, so with that in mind, let's get back to the game. And yeah, so that's all for tonight. I'll probably be streaming tomorrow. I do believe that the other edit is not working, so there could be 2 of us on tomorrow. And we will see where that takes us. As always, thank you for joining tonight. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. Feel free to leave comments down below insulting how bad our coding is, because it's a learning curve. When you already start somewhere, we're all new. So leave your feedback one way or another. If you like this video, then share it with other people. And hopefully we can actually get to 1,000 subscribers and potentially try and make some money at some point. Preferably in the near future, because at the moment Amax Games is a money pit for both myself and John. But you've got to invest. You've got to spend money to make money. So let's see how that goes. But anyway, that's me for tonight. Thank you for taking the time to spend it with me. And I shall see you in the next one. Cheers.